back. You are tuned in to Privacy Focus, and we are talking to Dr. Patrick Lebene Adono. He is the head of compliance with the Data Protection Commission. So we're talking about the Data Protection Act, the compliance and enforcement and everything. How new is the law?
All right. So, I mean, before we went on break, you mentioned that the law came into effect. It was gazetted in the year 2012. But the law gave birth to the commission.
Okay.
So it is the commission that implements the stipulations of the law.
Right.
And so even though the law was born in 2012, the commission became operational sometime at the latter part of 2015.
Right.
So let me say that our full-fledged operations perhaps took form in 2016. And if that's the case, and we are in 2022, then we are talking about some, help me with the math. We're talking about some 6 years thereabout.
Right.
Yeah. So in Ghana, the Data Protection Commission is that young, is that relatively young. And as such, it is taking its growth processes in rising to its mandate and in bringing to bear what the act requires of it.
What are some of the steps that the commission has taken to do that? The publicity of the act and what the rights are. Who data controllers is, data subjects are. Do people really know who they are? Do they know?
Okay, I would answer the question from. I wouldn't just go straight on. I think it will be fair for me to answer the question from an angle of what data is, where we've come from, and the importance of it. And I normally build my own historical organogram of how we've come. And why I do this is because it gives people the perspective. You see, it was Abraham Lincoln who said that when people know why they do what they do, okay, there is no need for law.
Right.
When there is understanding, there is no need for law. So if people understand where we are going, then you don't really have to now push them by the law before they do what they do. So let me indulge you a bit. You see, the KPI for the measurement, okay, of development have changed with time. So the key performance index of how development is measured per my own line drawings have changed. And my indications are that in prehistorical times, development of all forms was measured by land. So if you wanted to find out who was the most powerful person, who was the most richest person, who was the most advanced person in those days, you would consider who has more lands. And so you see that historically, what nations focused on was one nation will fight another nation in search of land, kill these people because they want their land and all that. And that, people who believe in God or believe in anything religion, they will say that, oh, this is why God will promise people about land. But that moved over time.
Yeah.
And the key performance index became people. Because when you get land, you need people to till the land.
Right.
And that school of thought believes that gives rise to a whole generation understanding and fueling colonial rule and people buying slaves from here, because you needed people. After you've amassed a lot of land, you needed people from one place to the other to come and till the land. You have people who moved from their nations, came to other nations to capture them, to bring them here to come and work. Why? Because the focus of what drove anything in that time was people. So the key performance index moved from land, it became people. If you wanted to find out who was the most powerful person, the richest person in any locality, now you start looking out for who has more slaves.
Right.
Now it moved from people and it went to what we call the first industrial revolution. It became industry. So we were not now thinking about who has many people, but who could make machinery so that a machinery that can do the work that 100 people can do. If there was anybody who could get that done, then that person became the most important person. Or there was any nation that produced machinery, that nation was important. And so nations like Germany and all that rose up because they could make machinery. That moved from, and with time, we moved from machinery and we came to technology, because machinery need technology to function.
Right.
For machinery to work properly, you need some form of technology inside the machinery to be able to work. Over time, we are transitioning from what moves nations. And now it is no longer necessarily technology, it is data. Because technology needs data to properly function.
Right.
Amazon and Jeff Bezos and all these guys. Now it's not really about the technology, because everybody now can build an app, but you need data to feed the app for the app to. Now this is why data is so important. You see, many people don't even know. They don't know that today, any kind of business they do. Look, this is your beautiful show. It can only fly as much as how many people watch it. What is the people? Personal data. If I can give you the personal data of 1 million people, I can give you their emails, give you their contact or their WhatsApp numbers, and you can just blast the message to all of them. The show is on, come and watch. I've given you money.
Yeah.
Because all of them, when they watch, they will bring you money.
Right.
So what is the difference between where you are now and where you can get to? Data. And because many institutions don't know that where they are now and where they can get to tomorrow is all dependent on the amount of personal they can have, they don't value. That is the reason why the knowledge of data is low. Not because we are not doing our best, but it's because people don't know. You see, you can be in a land that has a lot of gold. If you don't know the value of gold, you'll be sitting here and people will come and take the gold away and give you peppercorn. Yeah. Now, nations who understand data, they are coming into our country and picking bulk data, giving people 20 cities, 2 cities, 3 cities, and they are picking because they understand. Somebody can be in America and know. Look, there was a conference that I was happy to be engaging with. Somebody who was there. And after the person gave his presentation, somebody from Google was now supposed to give his presentation. He asked this Ghanaian, what's your name? He mentioned his name. It's okay, fine, hold on. He typed the name into a system. Now, when they typed the name into the system, they were able to track where the person, he was able to tell, you live in a place called Agboploshi, and you work in a place called Medina. Is that true? He said, every day you use this particular route, N1. How? Because even the phones we have, they have systems that track where we are at any point in time. When you go on Google and you search this, or you go on WhatsApp and you say, you've created a digital footprint. And as the digital footprint identifies, at 6 a.m., you are at Agboboloshi. At 9 a.m., you are at Medina. You stay at Medina up until 5 p.m. before you move out. We can tell where you live, where you work, where you are going. This is where we are getting to. We don't have an option. And so the question is not about how much the commission is propagating the message of data. And the question is whether the people that we are selling the message of data to understand what we're talking about at all. And until the people fully understand what we are talking about, who is a data controller doesn't matter to them. What is data subject, data processor. My mother, respectfully, I love her so much. If she's watching, I greet her. Who is seated somewhere, and minding her own business, is not thinking about what data controller is. Meanwhile, he's giving significant data to the Momo guy. Somebody very important told me, Patrick, the person was telling me about her mother. She said, when we send money to our mother, this person is a very important person in this country. She said, our mother goes to the Momo guy, and the old lady gives her phone to the Momo guy and tells her, they say my password is 434. Open it. How much money is there? Then the Momo guy will tell him, oh, your children have brought 2,000 Ghana cedis. Then the woman will tell the guy, oh, then try and get 500 Ghana cedis for me. Take 50 cedis for yourself. Leave the rest there. Close it and give me my phone. They don't understand that by giving your phone number, giving your PIN, you are absolutely vulnerable. What am I saying? I'm saying that the discussion about whether the commission has done well, making people understand what the commission is about or what data controller is about, is misplaced. Rather, what we are focusing on through medias like this and through systems like this is letting every single Ghanaian understand that whether we like it or not, we have come to what is called the 4th industrial revolution. From this age onwards, what matters most to every form of system, whether church, business, government, education, whatever it is data. And that is the reason why when you hear anything about data, you must pay attention. And at this juncture, let me make this correction. Many Ghanaians think that when we are talking about data, you see, when I drive in the commission's car and people see data, they say, oh, MTN stole my data. Vodafone stole my data. Please, can you go and catch them for me? That's not the kind of data we are talking about.
Yes.
We're talking about much more important data.
Exactly. So we have been able to establish the fact that the understanding of what data is the issue.
Yes.
And so we cannot underestimate the fact that we need to have a lot more sensitization and probably come up with different ways to be able to now push the focus from what the commission is doing to what we can actually do to let the individual out there understand what data is about. Can you share with us, is there anything that you have thought through together as a commission to bring out that understanding about data and not what the commission is doing?
All right. I think that one of the most amazing things we've done is that we've been able to associate with good people like yourself.
Right.
You know, to air such educative projects like this.
Right.
And we're not only doing this, we are collaborating with all peer regulators.
Right.
To make data protection an eligibility criteria. I mean, we are definitely fighting a downstream battle. We have 30 million people, you know, our staff strength is not that great, and we are pretty much a young commission. So how are we going to be able to reach all these 30 million people and really sit them down and give them all this? We have to collaborate. We have to find other people and work alongside with. And this show is actually one of the things we are doing.
Privacy focus.
Privacy focus, yes, it's one of the things we're doing, and we hope to do more. I mean, through you and other people who are listening to us. But what I was talking about, the issue of data protection, data protection as an eligibility criteria. An eligibility criteria. What I mean to say is that now, what we are pushing to all other peer regulators, Bank of Ghana, National Communication Authority, Ghana Shippers Authority, you know, and all other, NPRA and all these people, so that before you can operate in that space, you should have a data protection certificate. Now, if all peer regulators in this country, peer regulators are institutions that regulate various ecosystems in this country, okay? So if all these peer regulators can collaborate with us and insist on all companies within their space getting some knowledge about data protection, that would be the first step. Would have touched the intelligentsia, would have touched the data controllers. Then from them and through them, we can transcend the knowledge and the information about data protection. We as a commission have decided to go strategic and work smart rather than just working hard. Because with our staff strength and the resources available to us, the only way to go is to work smart, and that's what we're doing.
Right. So, by the way, there's a lot more that I know that you are doing in terms of certification. You certify people to be able to also do the talking out there. So there's a lot more that we are doing. I think that we'll have to continue this conversation, but we would have to wrap it up today on this edition of Privacy Focus. We've been speaking to Dr. Patrick, and I'm sure that key things that we have taken out of this particular episode is the fact that data is the new oil. Data is too important for you to underestimate it, and also collaboration to be able to put their word out there so that we stop as Ghanaians the blame game and rather concentrate on priorities, what the issues are and how we can help ourselves to be able to get there. It's Privacy Focus. My name is Anna Maria Emisa. I've been speaking with Dr. Patrick, the Head of Compliance at the Data Protection Commission. We will come your way again, so do stick and stay. Thank you for joining us. Privacy Focus is supported by Clean Eats. Clean Eats, healthy fast food.